Welcome, everyone, to Mount Manitoba, the home of NotInHallOfFame.com. And I'm your host, Kirk Buchner, along with Evan Nolan, and we run NotInHallOfFame.com, the fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame, the fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the United States Athletic Hall of Fame, where you can vote right now, www.notinhalloffame.com/USA, and vote for who you think should be part of the United States Athletic Hall of Fame, the first ever class.
Mm-hmm.
Evan's done a great job with that.
We got 130. Oh, so I was gonna say we got 130 candidates. We're looking for 25. It's up to you guys to decide. Sorry, that's what I was gonna say.
I was just gonna say that, and Evan's been really busy on TikTok.
That is true,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of funny. So yeah,
I don't know why you're not wearing your glasses. They give you more of an edge.
I've been told that, but the problem is with the I've had to decide with my computer between the microphone or the lighting. And the lighting with my glasses would make it look like I was in 2001 Space Odyssey knockoff. So I got to figure out exactly what to do. So I've gone to the contacts. Or there are times I'm here where I'm like this because I've worn my glasses all day and take them off for the video for the recording. So
well, you've seen my glasses now that I've been wearing all the time now. So yes, I'm very
you got a convoy rocking through the night.
There you go. So it's been even though sports is a lot going on, it's been a very quiet week in terms of halls of fame. But one of our favorite halls has announced their finalists.
Go for it.
The Toy Hall of Fame.
Yay!
Yeah. So located in Rochester, New York. I got to go there at the Strong National Museum of Play, because I think they also do the Video Game Hall of Fame there too. I think there's a couple others that they do. So the 12 nominees are baseball cards.
Okay.
Bingo. Bop It. Cabbage Patch Kids. Choose Your Own Adventure game books. Connect 4. The Ken Doll. Little Tykes Cozy Coupe. I don't know what that is.
It's the #1 selling car in the world.
Like, seriously?
Yeah. It's the #1 selling car in the world. It's a red little car with an yellow top. Looks like McDonald's would have designed it, but it's #1 selling car in the world. Technically, it does not actually a car, but that's the joke. It's the #1 selling car in the world is Little Tykes Cozy Coupe. So
okay.
There you
go. Nerf, Slime, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I feel like a lot of these would have been in already.
You've managed to miss one as always. Battleship. Your baseball cards, the bingo.
Oh, I missed Battleship completely. I missed it in my article also.
Yeah, you shot at I-8, but that was a miss.
Apparently so. Well, oh well.
So a lot of these seem like me, and the Toy Hall of Fame is interesting because it alternates between like sometimes you have chess and playing cards, and sometimes you have a box and a stick. So it's always interesting to see exactly what they end up with. I mean, to me, there's a couple of very obvious favorites here.
Well, for me, it's baseball cards, but I think that's something I ever had of this stuff. Well, Nerf. I had a bunch of Nerf stuff.
I mean, for me, Nerf and Connect 4 very much stand out. But if they're ever a year for the Ken Doll, this is a year for the Ken Doll.
I suppose. So,
This is Ken's Kate Bush year.
I don't have any interest in seeing that film.
I've heard it's great. Everyone who I know who has seen it, even my my friends who you would not expect to like it, have all liked it. One of my friends, Ken, who's tough on pretty much everything, gave it a 9.1, which is one of the highest ratings he's ever given to any movie on our.
There you go. There you go. I do want to say that I'm very juvenile. I got a kick out of the fact that there's a goalie playing today. Probably you know who that is, named Areola.
Yeah, for West Ham.
And it was trending right below Bobert today. I thought that was fantastic.
Hey, who among us has not vaped at a live showing of Beetlejuice the musical? Although to be fair, more than anything, what I got out of that, I mean, I don't feel like I learned anything about Lauren Boebert I didn't already suspect. What I did learn is those night vision 3D cameras in theaters are way better quality than anticipated.
I this is just like one of those stories. I don't really care about her one way or the other. But it's just something I just couldn't help but laugh all day. Just I don't know why. And it's not an anti-Republican thing or a pro-Democrat thing. I just find it hysterical. The hypocrisy of this woman who just like all about like we gotta protect the kids. Yeah. You may not be wrong when you say that, but
family values, my friend, family values.
And her family values. I find it hysterical. I actually don't have much of an elevator today, so I thought I'd actually do it right now if you're okay with that. Elevator up, elevator down.
Elevator up, elevator down.
Yeah, go for it.
And it's kind of going to tie in more with the smorgasbord of shit because I kind of have a vent I want to do.
Are we doing both of them together?
Yeah, that's all right.
Go for it.
All right. So there really hasn't been anyone in the last week. I mean, we've just finished the week 1 of football. And then the beginning of the Thursday night game. Look, Aaron Rodgers is, I guess, now elevator down for the Jets Ring of Fame. And it was really hard to watch. Not so much because, I mean, the injury didn't look that graphic. I mean, you couldn't really tell what was happening to him, but took a while to sort of figure that out. But it's just the reaction to everything. Like, grow up. Okay, Evan and I were not huge fans of Aaron Rodgers. I think the person, he's a little sketchy, but I don't cheer for this.
No.
And if you're cheering for this openly, fuck yourself. That means people like Keith Olbermann. Well, maybe because he didn't get vaccinated. Fuck off, dude.
Yeah,
like, what's the matter with you?
Yeah, and of course, I mean, he went to the Jets. This is bound to happen to him, unfortunately. That's just the way this works with the Jets. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel bad for him. It's entirely possible his career is over. I mean, that is entirely a possibility. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I mean, he's 39 years old. He'll be 40 very shortly. Although there was it Jared Carabas, the Red Sox reporter, said that he ripped his and he was back, within 6 months or whatever. And I'm like, congratulations, guy who sits at the keyboard and writes. I don't think that's quite what we should be looking for a guy who has to dodge 340-pound linemen.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I mean, I am on record. I'm more annoyed. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I've always been more annoyed with Packers fans and now, I guess, Chiefs fans who have made Brady win 6 championships before they even consider him above Montana, but have always put both Rodgers and Mahomes above Brady, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, and again, I have nothing against Mahomes. His brother and wife, not my favorites.
Yes.
But I have nothing specific against Mahomes, but like, it's the same thing. We're getting this with Josh Allen now too, who hasn't even gotten to like anything. So I've never been the biggest fan of him. I'm here in Chicago, and of course, no one here is the biggest fan of him. But I would never ever want that to happen. And if his career is over, it's a sucky way for it to end.
Absolutely, it's awful. It's awful for a very passionate fan base. The other person I want to sort of like call out here is someone I defend a lot and also attack a lot, and that's Jamel Hill, who says, "Well, there's a solution, and it rhymes with Hapernick." Okay, look, it's been 7 years, and I will disagree with anyone who will tell me, no, Colin wasn't blackballed from the league. He just wasn't good enough. That's bullshit. He was good enough in his last year, which may have been his worst NFL year, but he was still probably at worst number 20 quarterback in the league at that point.
I'd say that's probably true.
Yeah. So he definitely deserved to play. Was he blackballed, or was it just 32 teams that came up with the same conclusion? I think more of that latter personally, but either way, no team wanted to do anything to do with him, and he was still very good enough to play the 2 years after. Now he's not, and there's no arguing this. Jamel, when you say that he's the solution, you lose every bit of credibility as a football analyst. if you actually mean it. And I don't think she does, because she's actually the producer of the Kaepernick documentary on Netflix coming out. So she's financially involved in the Kaepernick business. So if you are a journalist, maybe you take yourself out of promoting that, or at least mention that a little bit more than you have been.
Fair enough.
It's indefensible saying something that's stupid at this point for a person. Doesn't matter why he was forced out. He was, it shouldn't have happened, but it did. But let's again be blunt. There is no team that will bite on a player that they're not even sure wants to play. I'm not convinced he actually wants to play.
I agree with that. I feel like there may have been opportunities for him, and he just decided he did not want the given opportunity. So,
well, he sabotaged the Ravens' job, or had his wife do it. But whatever. At this point, a person who has not seen, forget the fact that he hasn't been seen a down in the NFL in 7 years. He hasn't seen a down, period. His workout was allegedly bad, according to Warren Sapp. And Warren Sapp, what's his motivation to lie?
No, we know that Warren Sapp is kind of a piece of crap in some ways.
Sure.
Still his, I mean, just in general he is, but like there's no advantage to him ripping on Kaepernick. Like he gets nothing out of it.
No. So if any team would have took him, it would have been the Raiders.
Agreed.
Yeah. And it's done. It's over. I don't think Cap was even trying that hard. If his workout was as bad as they say, or Sapp heard, he doesn't want this. For an activist, he's very inactive. He doesn't do anything. What does he do? And I can go on and on about that, but I just want, at this point, let's just stop. Colin whether he wants to play or not, I don't think he does. It's not happening. And when you, Jamel, you're smarter than this. You know what you're going to do. You know that that's not the case. You know that the person actually beat Kaepernick in the Super Bowl is available, who's actually on that roster recently, is a better choice. As weird as that is to say, but it is.
Yeah.
I'm just so tired of it.
I get it.
Yeah. Let's just move on from that already. That's sort of my rant there.
That's fair. I mean, I saw it too. I'm like, okay, here's Kaepernick. Like, what has he done other than exist over the last half a decade? We'll give him those first years out. The last half decade, do you think he's in any position to come back?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, he still looks fantastic. Doesn't mean he's game ready.
I mean, I've heard some things actually about both Brady and Luck came up too. Andrew Luck was someone I saw come up in this whole thing. Yeah. Andrew Luck looks like he weighs like 170 pounds right now. He's super skinny. He has been working out. He's like in great shape, but not in get hit by a football player shape. Brady also looks super skinny at the moment. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like he's not done the whatever. Too. Yeah, like, and as someone mentioned, as soon as he took partial ownership of the Raiders, people thought he was actually done. I think he's actually done now, because my joke was he's going to come back in week 5 and be the quarterback of the 49ers. Yeah, I mean, there are just other people who it does not make sense for the Jets to bring that into their locker room. They've already had the distraction of tough knocks or hard knocks in the distraction room. Do you think they want hard knocks plus Kaepernick?
That was the main reason that people didn't want him. I don't think it's necessarily his politics. It's just all the stuff that comes with it. Yeah. People can handle the politics internally when it comes right down to it.
Because Eric Reed, right? That was the other guy. Eric Reed was involved in all that stuff too, and played the next 4 seasons at least before he was done. So it wasn't fully the politics. There was something else involved. But anyway, yes, we both agree Kaepernick is not in any position 7 years out to take control of a football team without any sort of like preseason or anything out, if nothing else. They want to bring him in at the beginning of the preseason for next year and see what happens. Fine, we'll see. But he's not coming in week 2. And then week 3 again. I can't remember who they're playing this week. Next week, I know they play the Patriots in New England, which is just a game that I'm hoping Zach Wilson is still the quarterback for. But yeah, they're not in a position where Kaepernick's right in. So they need someone who's a little bit more in tune with things to do stuff. Zach Wilson is also not the answer, just by the way.
Yeah, just Jamel disappoints me on that because I like her writing, even though I disagree with a lot of it. But I've said this before. When Jamel puts out a good piece, it'll make me think. But she's smarter than this. And she has no integrity when she does stuff like this. And no one's calling her out on it. At least that part. They're all just sort of attacking the low-hanging fruit, which is, come on, Kaepernick is not playing after 7 years. It's not happening. But I don't think a lot of people know that she's producing that.
I didn't even know there was one in production. So there you go.
Yeah, it was one of the deals he sort of signed like right after. Hey, get your money however you can. I'll never begrudge anyone for that. But,
right. All right. Just going back for a second to change the subject before we get into the death thing. I hadn't updated my Toy Hall of Fame stuff. So baseball cards, Battleship, Bop It, Connect 4, the Ken doll, the Cozy Coupe Slime. This is their first ever nomination.
Oh, okay.
This is number 3 for Bingo, 4 for Nerf and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and 5 for Cabbage Patch Kids. So if that last year they put in Light Bright, Masters Universe, and The Top, which are nominations 5, 5, and 3. The first one that's gotten in on the first time up recently, there's only been one. It was Baby Nancy, which I hadn't brought up before. But like all of them usually take multiple times for that. It was the Swing and then Super Soaker and a few things, but they always usually take multiple times. So looking at this, the favorites are probably some combination of Bingo, Cabbage Patch Kids, Nerf, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I would guess that 2 or 3 of those 4 who you're looking at getting in, just so you know.
There we go. I guess there's a queue involved.
Based on history, yeah. Last time, Light Bright 5, Masters Universe 5, Top 3, 2021, American Girl Dolls 4, Risk 4, Sand, just Sand.
I love it.
I love it all. 2, 2020, Baby Nancy's first one, Jenga 4 times, Sidewalk Chalk 4 times. For that, the Coloring Book 3 times. Oh, Magic Gathering, I missed that one. Was once. Match Mock Bars twice. You just keep going back. It's usually multiple times for almost all of them. So it's probably at least 2 of those 3 are getting in if they keep it with 3. It could be, like I said, it could be the Ken doll sneaking in. I mean, Connect 4 seems like a basic. Everybody's played that type of game. That should do pretty well. So anyway, that's all I want to say. Going back to that.
All right. So unfortunately, we lost some people this week, but yeah, not as many. I don't think. Huh?
This has been a pretty quiet week again, which is good because last week kind of stunk.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start actually an interesting one. Sir Ian Wilmot passed away at the age of 79. He's best known for being the guy who in charge of the group that cloned Dolly the sheep.
Oh.
So the guy who invented basically animal cloning or in charge of it passed away at the age of 79. So just thought was an interest. That's my only like person from the world outside of what we do who I thought was interesting enough to bring up. Going with music from the group. Do you know the group Streetlight Manifesto?
I don't think so.
Okay, they're a ska band from New Brunswick, New Jersey. But their longtime trumpet player, Matt Stewart, passed away at the age of 41 earlier this week. So they've been around since basically when I got out of college, essentially is when they started, 2001, 2002.
Okay.
Also passed away, Charles Gale, a very, very well-known jazz saxophonist. He passed away at the age of 84. Played for a long time. It took until he was like in his almost 50s or 60s to really break through. But he was the leader or co-leader of bands starting 1988 on. Also played with everyone from like, he played on a couple of Henry Rollins albums. So you gotta like that.
I do.
Henry Rollins is one of my favorite people on the planet. Charles Gale passed away at the age of 84. Member of the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, Myron Lefevre. I don't even know how you're pronouncing it. He's from Gulfport, Mississippi, so it might be the French way of Lefevre, or it could just be Lafarve. I don't know. The South does weird things with French names. But member of a Christian rock group, Mylan and the Broken Heart, passed away at the age of 78. From the world of wrestling, Brett Sawyer passed away at the age of 63.
Okay.
Do you know him?
I remember him. He wrestled in the NWA in the 80s. I think his brother, I don't know if it was his real brother or not, was Buzz Sawyer. Or if it was his brother.
Yeah, that's his elder brother. He went Bruce Woyan. Yeah. So his actual name is Bruce Eugene Woyan. So his older brother Bruce, he's Brett. His brother Bruce was Buzz Sawyer. So
yeah, he died like when he was only 32, but he already looked like he was 80. He's the guy who legendarily trained the Undertaker, but didn't actually train him. He showed him he showed him how to walk up, and then the next day when he went there, he was gone.
Okay.
It's safe to say though that the Undertaker did okay.
He did fine. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't remember much of Brett other than he wrestled in the NWA team with his brother. That's about it.
Okay. Well, he passed at the age of 63. I don't know of what. They didn't give me a reasoning. From horse racing, I don't usually talk about horses who pass away, but Point Given passed away, who won the Preakness and Belmont Stakes back in 2001, did not win the Kentucky Derby. He finished fifth in that. They won 2 of the 3 legs of the Triple Crown. Also won the Haskell Invitational Traverse Stakes, making him the first horse ever to win $4 million prize purses in a row. So he was inducted member of the National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame. But he passed away at the age of 25. So what did he do the last, 22 years? Oh, he just stayed and enjoyed himself. That sucks to be him.
I'm sure he was enjoying many others.
Yes, that's my point.
Yes.
From the world of the Olympics, Mabel Walker, who is an American sprinter, ran the 100 meters for the U.S. in the 1948 Summer Olympics. Passed away at the age of 94. So she was on the track team at Tuskegee University. 94 years old is doing pretty well. Born the same year as my dad. So from the world of basketball, we had a very old person and a much younger person. Whitey Von Nyda, better known as Stanley Lee Von Nyda, the oldest living NBA player, passed away at the age of 101.
Oh, wow.
He played for the Lancaster Red Roses, the Tri-Cities Blackhawks, Baltimore Bullets, and Lancaster Rockets. So he played for the Baltimore Bullets on their 1950 team. But he was the oldest living player. Passed away at the age of 101. So he's actually the first NBA player ever to reach the age of 100. So he's by far the longest lived in the history of the league. A much younger person who passed away, former Celtic and Orlando Magic player Brandon Hunter, who played the Celtics at 03-04 and the Magic 04-05, who was passed away at the age of 42.
What from?
I'll get that in a second. But he went to the University of Ohio. He's the NCAA rebounding leader in 2003. First All-MAC in 2001 through 2003. Made the MAC All-Freshman team in 2000. He apparently was doing hot yoga and collapsed.
Oh, wow.
During the hot yoga section. Not kind of stinks. He'd been working as a real estate broker and a sports agent over the last few years. But yeah, Brandon Hunter was only 42 years old, so that really stinks. Last two, we had a football Hall of Fame coach, Roy Kidd, who coached East Kentucky from 1964 through 2002. going 314, 124, and 8. East Kentucky Colonels won the 1AA football championships in 79 and 82 and were runners up in 80 and 81. He has the second most victories in Division One AA history. Who is number one?
No idea.
Oh, you should know this. Eddie Robinson of Grambling State.
I should know that.
That's the one you should have known. If I asked to name a 1AA coach, Eddie Robinson is probably the person you should have come up with. But he
was also a nominee.
That is true. He is a nominee for our the United States Athletics Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But Roy Kidd passed away at the age of 91. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2003. 10-time Coach of the Year, the Ohio Valley Conference. Two 1AA national championships, 16 Ohio Valley Conference national championships as well. First one in 1967, last one in 1997. That is some consistency. So, he was 91. And I think the biggest name that passed away this week was Mike Williams, former wide receiver mostly for the Buccaneers from 2010 to 2013. Also played for the Bills for a season and was on the practice squad for Kansas City, but didn't make the team. 223 career receptions.
Really good rookie year, if I remember right.
I'm sorry?
Really good rookie year, if I remember right.
Yeah, so both his rookie and sophomore years, he had 65 receptions. So his rookie year is 65 receptions, 964 yards, and 11 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was always on my radar as a Saints guy, obviously.
Right. So he was working in construction and was injured in a worksite accident in which a steel beam fell on his head.
Oh, my God.
Paralyzing his right arm and body from the waist down. So he had surgeries, faring well after surgery, but declined rapidly. Is placed in medically induced coma. But he passed away on the 7th when he's taken off. It said he would take off life support on the 7th, but he officially passed away on the 12th at the age of only 36. But a steel beam fell on during a construction accident.
Jeez. I just saw that he died. I didn't actually read the obit and how it happened. I just didn't want to be depressed.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he finished second in voting for AP Rookie of the Year, in Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2010. I don't know the answer to this. Who do you think was AP Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2010?
Oh, jeez. No idea.
Let's take a look.
Let's see. I'm trying to think who won it around that time.
Oh, geez. Sam Bradford.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So
I would take Kaepernick over Sam Bradford.
Okay, fair.
Maybe.
I got that.
I don't know.
I got that. Yeah. Have you done how Offensive Rookie of the Year did for you career-wise?
In terms of the Hall of Fame, I know I've written it, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
All right, let's just go from 2000 on.
Sure.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Mike Anderson of the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Thomas of the Bears. Clinton Portis of the Broncos.
Okay.
It's always good when someone at the same position as you wins the Offensive Rookie of the Year 2 years after you did on the same team. Anquan Boldin, all right, there's one in 2003. Yep. Ben Roethlisberger in 2004. All right. Cadillac Williams in 2005.
Oh, there's a name I haven't heard in forever.
Yeah. Vince Young in 2006.
Vince Young had a pretty good rookie year.
He did.
Forget that.
I honestly, that game, the 2005 game, or was it? It must have been 2006. Texas national championship.
Yeah. That was one of the best games ever.
That was one of the best games I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Like in any sport ever. That game was fantastic, and he was amazing in that game.
He was.
2007, Adrian Peterson.
Yep.
2008, Vinny Los Manuso Project, Matt Ryan. 2009, Percy Harvin. 2010, Sam Bradford. 2011, Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Has it had a possibility? I think he's out now though. 2012, RG3 before he got injured.
Oh man.
2013.
That game where he got injured too.
I know.
Yeah.
2013, Eddie Lacy. Yeah, I know. 2014, OBJ.
Mm-hmm.
Jr., another guy injured. 2015, Todd Gurley. Uh,
Out of the league
16
now.
yeah, 16 was Dak Prescott.
Yeah, yeah.
17 Alvin Kamara, who still I think got a shot. 18 Saquon Barkley. 19 Kyler Murray. 2020 Justin Herbert. 2021 Jamar Chase. 2022 Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is freaking ridiculous. He needs a real quarterback. That dude is insanely good. But going back,
I love football. I love a
yeah,
football stock though.
yeah.
There's some interesting names there. Cadillac Williams. My God. I
I'm
forgot all about this guy.
just going back in time, by the way. Hall of Famers who have won it. Randy Moss, Curtis Martin, Marshall Faulk, Jerome Bettis. That was a good run. 93, 94, 95. Bettis, Faulk, Martin. And 96 was Eddie George. And 97 was Warwick Dunn. All very good players. Oh, I forgot Edgerrin James in 99. That's 5. So in the 90s, we had 5 of the 10 in the 90s all made the Hall. So 1991, Leonard Russell. That makes me sad. He won the Rookie of the Year and then ripped his Achilles playing sand football at the Pro Bowl festivities. And then his career ended.
Ugh.
He was real good, Leonard Russell.
That actually reminds me, there is a new section on the site, or the site's been updated with the active players list in terms of their Hall of Fame chances. So for the first time, there was actually somebody other than Brady at number 1. It's Aaron Rodgers, who we talked about earlier. So Aaron Rodgers number 1, Aaron Donald number 2. I could have easily flipped those if I really wanted to, but
I don't think it might as well be 1A, 1B. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. The one real interesting thing about that, because even though he hasn't officially retired, I took him off the list with Adrian Peterson. The highest ranked running back is actually Kamara at 28, which is crazy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, because there is no veteran running back right now that like over 30 that you can think of. I can't.
No, I mean
that's
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Ezekiel Elliott feels like the old man, and he's what, 28? So,
yeah, and I mean, like legit right now. I mean, because every one of these guys is just like one injury away. I mean, none of them are at this point. There's not. I can safely say that I think maybe for the first time in my life, there is no active running back who is a Hall of Fame lock. I don't know if it's the first time in my life, but it's got to be.
Yeah, 100%. It got to be the first time in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, and you think of all the Hall of Fame running backs who've been alive during our lives. So even when you're a little kid, you had, I mean, OJ into Eric Dickerson into Tony, like into Tony Dorsett, Emmitt Smith, like
Walter Payton.
Yeah, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders. Like it just covers everything.
And now none of these guys feel like a lock. As good as you were talking about Saquon earlier. He's only had really 2 good years.
True.
McCaffrey, same.
True. I mean, McCaffrey's probably the closest shot with who's active right now.
And the crazy thing is with Kamara, because he's such a different type of running back. So my highest rated running back is the one guy who's never had 1,000 yards rushing in a season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, looking good for Roger Craig in the future then. Like, we gotta get a running back in here. Roger Craig, come on down. So.
Well, that's why they played. That's why they got the kickers. Do I have Justin Tucker higher than Kamara? I can't remember. I think I might.
Possible. So anyway, all right. So I think all we have left is my good, bad, and ugly. And honestly, there isn't a ton this week either. I don't really feel like talking about Bruce Arena and the New England Revolution at the moment. Because I'm not quite sure what the hell is going on. So why don't we take a little bit of time to talk about the USA Hall and the steps we've taken over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Evan and I have done a lot. So we were joking earlier. So Evan, we now are on TikTok. So a lot of the videos that Evan's put on his
time out. My videos are on TikTok. I have never actually physically been on TikTok on a computer in my life. I didn't have a TikTok thing.
Fair enough. But you can, and it's, if you've got TikTok, check it out, because basically what it is Evan's doing 2-minute blurbs on each candidate. and just summing up why you should vote for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great little intro into everything that we're doing. We're really proud of it. It's not just the athletes. We've got coaches for this.
Yeah.
So
we have coaches, we have contributors. I just don't have time to do 200 or 360 videos. I got 130. I've already published 60. Ted Williams went up this morning.
Yeah.
This evening we're going to probably have, who would it be? I had it in my head and I can't remember who it's going to be. Maybe Earl Anthony. It might be Earl Anthony coming up this evening, the bowler. Yeah. So anyway, continue.
So this is very important to us. So if you're supporting our site, if you're listening to us, if you're watching this, we encourage you all to vote. You don't have to vote for all 25 if you don't want to. You kind of noticed because we're getting a lot more votes lately. Not a lot more, but more votes. So some people are just voting for a few. That's fine. However you want to do it.
Yep. I mean, the goal here, like we said, is we want two things to happen. One, we want to make sure we have the right people in front of you. So we do have, there is a committee, and the committee is at the very front end, though, where we are making sure, and I'm going to pick on Moonlight Graham again. Yep. Like, we're making sure Moonlight Graham isn't there. Good story. Played half an inning for the White Sox in 1918 or whenever it was, and never played baseball again. Not somebody we want in front of people, right? We want to make sure we have the best people in every position or in every sport. And you may think, hey, you don't have everybody. Yeah, we probably screwed up on it. So, but again, there's going to be a little human error. I don't think we don't have, for example, there's Tony Hawk isn't there. I'm going to bring him up because it's hilarious, because Tony Hawk's whole shtick now is that nobody recognizes him in public. And we all did this thing and nobody voted for him on our committee. And I was like, that seems appropriate. But I'd imagine that someone like him will be there next time. So again, you're like, hey, why isn't Pete Sampras there? That's somebody asked me about the other day, because he was too young when we came up with it. He had to be born 1970 or before. Why someone wanted us to do Chase Utley. He wanted me to do a video on Chase Utley the other day, who was born in 1978. And I'm like, he's not going to be up for a while. I'm not.
I don't see yet.
Who wanted that? I know somebody on TikTok asked when we would do Chase Utley, and I was like, 2039.
When your son's running it.
Yeah, my son's running it exactly. But so if there's, but there are going to be people there who you may not know as well. But the good news is we have people on this committee who know a lot of stuff. Like one of the people, I brought him up before. I had no idea who Ray Uri was when I started this whole thing. I've never heard the guy's name before, but he was a very important person in the history of track at the turn of the 20th century.
Yeah, so we got a track guy on our.
Yeah, we have some track folks on here who actually know what that means. And that's the point, right? It's not just, we don't want just football, basketball, baseball. Well, there honestly isn't that much hockey. No offense to, we have Chris Chelios and Mike McDonough on the list, but I don't think either of them are going to sniff the top 25 in this.
Probably not.
But I mean, it's I don't want just baseball, football, basketball, and the Olympics. Like there's more to the sporting world than just that, and that's the point of this. That's why we have the committee. Once we have the committee, we decide who's on the list. It's all up to you guys. Our votes count just
exactly, and it's Evan's point. I think there's like 16 sports represented. So off the top of my head, let's see, baseball, basketball, hockey, boxing. There's an amateur wrestler there, Dan Gable. Mixed martial arts, so UFC, because there's 2 fighters on that. Golf. We have a lot of swimmers. One synchronized swimmer.
Yep, I've done hers, but it hasn't come out yet. So Tracy Cruz's video is done. It's just not out yet.
Figure skating, speed skating, pool,
billiards. Bowling. We have 1 billiards. We have 1 bowler,
1 sailor.
We have 1 sailor in Dennis Conner.
Yeah.
Willie Mosconi is our pool player.
2 triathletes. I didn't know much about it, so like because we have a triathlete on our committee too, and so like when he brought up those 2 names, and I'm looking up because I'm thinking like, really? But then like, oh shit, yeah, really. Dave Scott and Mark Allen. Dave Scott's been published. Mark Allen is one of my next ones as well. His video has been recorded the longest without having been published yet. At the moment, since Mark Allen's. But yeah, we have like a bunch of stuff, and at the same time, again, you're only voting for 25 of these people, right? So I was going over this with one of my coworkers today. It's like, well, it can't be like, how hard is it to come up with your best 25? I said, well, let's just take
let's just say you're only going to do 5 per sport, because unless you're really into baseball and you're going to vote for all 25 guys, you probably need to spread it out. Let's just say, take 5 basketball players, right? I'm like, name your first 5 basketball players over 50. And he said Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, and Kareem were his 5. I said, cool. There's no room for Wilt. It was like, oh, wait. I was like, and there's no room for Oscar Robertson or Julius
Jerry West
or Jerry West.
Yeah.
So there's just no room for them. He goes, oh, wait, this is a little harder than I thought. And I'm like, now let's just do football. Just do football and pick 5 players and try not to make them all quarterbacks. I mean, you could just go, Montana, Elway, Unitas, Otto Graham, and Marino. I'm just throwing out 5 names I know are on there, right? We haven't even touched any of the running backs. We haven't touched Lawrence Taylor, or I just published Mean Joe Green yesterday. Who wasn't that mean, by the way. He was actually pretty nice. He kind of hated his nickname, but he used it to his advantage on the football field. But like, haven't done any of those folks. You haven't do baseball. Just try and come up with just 5 baseball players.
Like right now?
Yeah, just pick your 5. Just give me 5 baseball players who you'd put in the hall.
Babe Ruth, first off, is number 1. This is my personal ones, because there's some people who I think might be better, but Jackie Robinson is always a must.
Yep.
For another must for me is Sandy Koufax.
Okay.
Personally, again. Yep. Then I would go with Lou Gehrig.
Okay.
And then my 5th is Clemente.
Okay.
And then I haven't even told who go offline. We've discussed how much I want Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige in, and I didn't even pick those.
And you know who also to mention?
Who?
Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, Willie Mays,
Mickey Mantle,
Hank Aaron, and Stan Musial, who are
Pete
all
Rose, Bobby Bonds, and
that's Barry Bonds.
Sorry, and that's the other thing. When we mentioned this last time when we were really promoting this high,
and I have to say my version of your Koufax, Bob Gibson, is my first pick in MLB if I can take anybody. I've been on record for that forever. I want Bob Gibson to my team.
Absolutely. The other thing too is you're going to see some names who aren't actually in their halls of fame. Pete Rose and Barry Bonds. And I mentioned this before when we were really promoting this heavily. It's up to you to decide whether you think that they belong or not based on their actions or inactions. You might be very huge on people who use their voice, like a Muhammad Ali, like a Hank Aaron. That might turn you off. There's no wrong answer to this. It's who you want. This is pure democracy in action. So that's the other thing that I really like about this. Like my must on all of these, and I don't know if I haven't really looked at the whole thing and how this is sort of shaping out, but I have a feeling she won't get in, and is Martina Navratilova.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of my musts. If I could only pick 5, period, she's on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I think my must, of course, overall, I've said this before, is Jim Thorpe, who I still think is the greatest athlete of all time. But I mean, if there's one, not to be unfair, but if there's only gonna be one woman on my list for me, without a doubt, it's Babe Didrikson Zaharias from today. That woman was good at literally everything. What did not matter what sport she was in, she was the best at it. When she died of cancer at the age of 45. She was the #1 ranked golfer in the world when she died. And it was like the 4th sport she'd done professionally. She went to spring training with the Cardinals to pitch.
Legendary, very good.
With the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like everything that woman did, she was just ridiculously good at. She won medals at the Olympics in high jump, javelin, and no, it's just in the individual. She won it in high jump, she won it in javelin, and I can't remember what the third one was. It was a foot race. It may have been hurdles and maybe the 100. I don't remember what it was. It was like a sprinting event, a javelin, and a high jump. Those are 3 things that are not some person. If you're doing part of decathlon, I get it. We shouldn't win those 3 individual things. She still has, to this day, the longest recorded throw of a baseball by a woman in history.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Baseball she threw in 1932
Mhm.
to this day is the longest recorded throw by a woman in history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. That woman was insane. I have no idea if she's going to make it. She should make it. I have a couple of friends online who keep asking me when Babe Dietrichson's Harris is coming up. The answer is I've recorded it. It just isn't out yet. Yeah, I have like 14 or 15 in a hopper ready to go. A lot of them. I've done 75 of these videos now, man.
Yeah, and we've got one coming up too. That'll have two football historians debate just the football players on this.
Fantastic. And that's what we want to do, guys. Here's the thing. Like I said, we put some money behind this now. Kirk specifically has put some money behind this now. We're trying to get the marketing going. We're on TikTok because that's got the most interactions. But more than anything, what we need, if you've gotten this far in the video and haven't hung up on us, is for you guys to just go out and vote for whoever you think. You can vote, as I say at the end of most of my videos, vote as often as you want, as long as it's only once a day. See,
Yep.
This is why I do multiple recordings of each of those things.
Mhm.
So as long as it's once a day, you can vote as often as you want. So please vote and let's get the best class we can. It appears we're getting some notice by some folks. We don't
Looks
know
like, yeah.
but hopefully we'll, as we get here, we're now what? Today's the 16th of September. So 14 plus 31 we're 45 days out from announcing our class, which is crazy.
Yeah.
For how long this has been. So we're 45 days out from announcing our class. Anything you guys can do would be fantastic.
Yeah. So yes, and if you want to watch all the other stuff we do, please do. I'm not going to promote them all right now because this is our focus right now.
Yeah.
For the remaining 45 days, this is a very big deal to us. Help us out, and it's fun. I mean, as our press agent, I guess we have a press agent now. She said it's the ultimate bar debate, and it is.
Yep.
It is
very much is.
The United States. I'm going to sound all jingoistic, even though I'm a Canadian here, but let's just be blunt. The United States has the best athletic history of any country, period. I'm sorry, it just does. No, I'm not trying to offend anyone who might think otherwise and say, what about Canada? Or what about Russia? What about this? No country or China, no country has produced so much in so many different sports on every kind of level that you can think of. Right? It's crazy. I also look forward to how this is going to evolve in the next 10 to 15 years. Some other sports that will be more represented. When your son's taking care of this for us, because I have no legacy. There is no legacy. You know what? Maybe it's your daughter. She's already been helping you with it.
She is my, as I joke, my social media manager.
There you go. So whoever the next generation is, or maybe it's just going to be Vinny will beg us and he'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, Vinny.
It'd be good hands with Vinny.
Vinny doing something Hall of Fame seems very unlikely.
We love you, Vin. So with that,
that is said with entirely love. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess with that, wherever you are, wherever you may be, stay safe, everybody, and make the day a good one.
Hey, I like that ending. Take care, everybody.
All right.